Well, good afternoon. It's great to see you again. Thank you for joining me again. Thank you for joining me again for Thinking Tuesday. I am so excited to be here with you this morning, as I am every Tuesday. And for those who are joining for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. You know by now, those who are regular visitors here, and for those who are new here today, our slogan is Your mind is a garden. Your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds. And why do we say that? Because Thinking Tuesday is about setting some time aside to intentionally tend the garden of our mind, taking time out to evaluate our mindset. Is it working for us? Is it positive? Is it negative? Are we deliberately conditioning how we think, what we think? Are we open to replacing self-limiting thoughts with self-affirming thoughts? Isn't that a nice thought? Are we cultivating a can-do mindset as opposed to a can't-do mindset? So our positive thoughts, our self-affirming thoughts are the good seeds that we plant and cultivate in our mind's garden. The weeds are those self-limiting beliefs, those thoughts that lead us to habits that keep us from advancing towards our goals and our dreams. So we want to get rid of those. Those thoughts that have you focus on what you can't do rather than allowing you to find out what you can do, to try new things. Because success really begins first in the mind. That's where success begins. It begins with how you think. It begins with what you think. That is where our true freedom begins. If you tell yourself you can't, even without trying sometimes, then you won't. But if you tell yourself you can, then you will. I firmly believe that. And I've experienced that. Just the willingness sometimes, the willingness to entertain the positive thought that you can is a win as far as I'm concerned. Because you know how long or how difficult it is for us to change our minds many times when we believe in something. Because the ball and the chain does not always have to be on our feet. It's not always on our feet. Most of the time, our feet are free. They are free. But the ball and chain is on our minds. We become prisoners of our thoughts. And we limit ourselves by the way we think. So thinking is so important. It shouldn't just be mental activity. It should be deliberate thought from time to time. You may have heard the story of how elephants are initially trained to stay in their location without roaming from their owners or from the indicated space where they should be. From the time they're babies, baby elephants, they are tied with a strong rope to a fence or some stable object to keep them from roaming or going astray. As babies, they are not strong enough to break that rope. However, as they grow older and stronger, the strong, heavy rope is replaced by a thinner, weaker rope. Because they're always aware of their limitations, the elephants continue, even though they're grown, to live within those limitations. They don't test it. They're not willing to or daring to try to move beyond what they think. What they think are their limits, because remember, this rope is thinner and it is weaker, and they are stronger and more powerful. but they continue to live within those limits, within those limitations. They grow to believe that the thinner rope is too strong for them to break. Aren't we that way sometimes? We unfortunately tend to limit ourselves by the same principle as the elephant. We are guided by outmoded belief systems. Just think about some of them. Because now sometimes we look back at some of them and we laugh. Well, whatever would make us think about those things and limit ourselves by those things in the first place? So it's good to go back and take an inventory of what we are thinking and what we have thought and how it's held us back, but how we can move ahead. So we are often guided by those outmoded belief systems that limit our desires and our abilities. We have them, but they're limited by the way we think. The great news is, and this is great news, not just good news, it's great news, is that we have the freedom to change our thoughts and our actions as often as we allow ourselves to do. I said as we allow ourselves to do, because it's totally within our control. And as our thoughts change, our actions change. And as our actions change, our life changes. So let's begin here. Let's begin here. What thoughts, what beliefs have you been carrying and continue to cultivate that are limiting your choices in life? What are those thoughts, those beliefs that you continue to cultivate that are limiting your choices in life? What are you telling yourself that you cannot do because no one in your family has ever done that? Well, you can be the one to break the mold. You are too old to get started? Well, you're never too old. Age does not determine your ability to change your thinking. You don't have the money? Well, begin where you can. Begin where you can. Move in the direction of your dreams, because the opportunity will present itself when you show up and when you keep showing up. So you're an important person in this relationship, in this situation. You might say, well, that's only for the rich. Well, you have the same ability to think as do the rich. And richness and wealth really begins with the way that you think. It's not only money, because look how many people have won a lot of money, gotten a lot of money, maybe through inheritance or whatever, but because of their thinking, they lose it. So it's how you think that develops that richness and that wealth. That's where it begins. Or you might say, well, I don't have the experience. Well, you must start somewhere to gain the experience. Experience is not going to come chasing after you. You have to start somewhere. No matter how small you start, but you must start. You might say, I don't know how to get started. Well, find a coach, find a mentor, or volunteer in the area of your interest. Find someone who's doing what you would like to do and ask if you can shadow them, if they can mentor you. That's the way you get started also. You might say, well, my friends and my family will laugh at me. Well, others don't have to understand your dream. It's not their dream, it's yours. So what if they laugh at you? That should never be a deterrent. Or you might say also, and you notice that there's so many different reasons or so many thought patterns that we have that keep us limited. But you might say, I've tried it before and I failed. Well, you only failed if you don't learn the lesson from the time before. But you must be willing to try again with your new knowledge. Because if you can use that so-called failure to gain new knowledge about new ways of doing something or not doing something, then it's not a failure. You've learned from it. Or you might say, I don't believe I'm worthy. Well, I will challenge you to question or challenge the source of that belief. Who told you you're not worthy? What makes you feel like you're not worthy? Because everyone here, everyone is here for a purpose. So you must find yours. Find your purpose and don't let anyone tell you or make you feel unworthy, because you can only feel that way if you subscribe to it also. So question the source of those beliefs. Are you willing? Are you willing? Because you must be willing to test those limiting beliefs. And are you willing to stretch yourself beyond what you think is possible? We all have those moments. Just this week, I was confronted by a situation where I wanted to develop a new product for my coaching business, but the effort to develop and sustain it seemed daunting. But I had to stop. I had to stop my thinking and get ahead of the potential limits that I realized that I was putting on myself. So I made a commitment that I would not limit myself. Instead, because I believe that once an idea comes to mind, it's there for a reason. And I've learned to follow my ideas, no matter how daunting they are. But I decided that I would not limit myself, but instead I would accept this as a growth opportunity. Because that's what we should be looking for, opportunities for growth. So despite the effort that it will entail, I know for sure that in the end, I will grow from it. And it would also provide me a greater opportunity to add values to those that I serve, my clients. I cannot begin to tell you how liberating it is when you have that level of awareness to realize when we're getting in the way of our own growth. And then to allow ourselves to try and learn something new that brings us to a higher level of awareness that we are fully equipped and fully resourced to attain anything we desire. And in so doing, we're moving closer to reaching our potential. We are fully equipped. We just have to open ourselves to the opportunities and not limit ourselves by our thinking. Because the difference between those who do and those who don't is in their ability to change their thinking, to move forward towards their dreams and their goals. That's the only difference. They're not made any differently from us. It's just the way they think and what they allow themselves to do. The risk, the calculated risk, the openness that they have to try something new. Because those who do know that what is uncomfortable today is only temporary, and that's what I realized in that example that I just gave you. It would be uncomfortable initially, but it's a necessary step to get me closer to my goal, and in doing so, to learn more about who I am. You will learn more about who you are as well if you allow yourself to step into those uncomfortable situations, which are only temporary but necessary to move you closely to your goal and help you to learn more about yourself, who you are, how you are equipped, how you are resourced, and what you have within you, already within you, that you will never discover until it's tested. So we can't run away from those situations because we'll never know how we're fully equipped. We'll never know the abilities, the capability, the potential that we have. So I want to leave you with this to reflect on because I think it's so important. What thoughts are you holding on to that are limiting your ability to grow into your potential? What thoughts, what beliefs, what outmoded beliefs are you still clinging to? What thoughts are you holding on to that will prevent you from attaining your goals, whether they're personal or professional goals? What thoughts are you allowing to limit you and not dare to dream and not allow you to dream and to dream big? Because our dreams can be as big as we want them to be. Use your imagination. In another month or so, in a few days actually, because the year just seems to be running off so fast, many of you will be thinking about your New Year resolution. Okay? We don't have to wait for the new year. We start today. We can start today. My suggestion is to begin now, to begin today, to put a plan in place, to begin to think. Journal if you must about some of those beliefs that you have, some of those things that are keeping you from attaining what you want, from moving forward, from moving in those places and really thinking big about those dreams, those things that you aspire to do. It can be a really liberating experience, inspirational experience, when you allow yourself to think about the possibilities. If you don't know where to begin, speak to a friend, a relative, someone who knows a little bit more about you. Speak to a colleague. Look back at some of the things that interest you previously. What made you stop doing those things? Maybe it's a dream deferred. Well, doesn't mean that it can't be pursued again. I also invite you to visit my website, drcherylburton.com. Review the programs and services that I offer that can get you started and keep you on the path to attain those changes that you desire. If you don't see exactly what you want, it doesn't mean that it's impossible, because all of my services, all of my programs are created uniquely to meet my clients' needs. So I look forward to developing programs and services just to meet your needs. So together we're a creative team. So not because you don't see something exactly the way you think you would like to see it doesn't mean that it's not there, it's not possible. So reach out also for a complimentary, confidential consultation. I will help you think through what you're trying to achieve. It's not impossible. I will help you think those things through and help you to begin to create a path to get you there. That's my job as a coach. So visit my website. Think about what you'd like to do. Don't be afraid to take risks. And I'm saying risk, not risks that are dangerous, but these are risks that produce growth, that help you to grow, to help you begin to see who you are, what the possibilities are. So it should be exciting times for you. So you don't have to wait until January 1st or December 31st. Begin now, begin thinking about those limiting beliefs that have kept you, that are keeping you from attaining those goals that you deserve, that you aspire to attain, those dreams. So dream big. So enjoy the rest of your week. Take care of yourself. Dream big. Nothing is impossible. Only you decide that. And I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at noon to begin to not just begin, we'll begin in some with some of you, but to continue with some of you also. The kind of thinking, the way you're learning to think, that's going to bring you positive results. Get rid of those weeds, those limiting beliefs, because they don't serve you. It's never too late to change them. And like I said, freedom is in your thinking. So take care. Enjoy the rest of the day, the rest of the week. And I'll see you back here next Tuesday. Share this with a friend, a relative, or someone you feel could benefit from it. Take care and bye for now. Bye-bye.